So now let's look at the second part of the Flea Dance. I'll just remind you how the first part goes that we looked at in the previous video. So the first part goes like this. So hopefully you're fairly good at that by now. Now in the second part goes like this. Now that looks rather difficult and rather cool because the left hand crosses over the right. However, it's not all that difficult once you've mastered the first part, because the right hand is going to do exactly the same as it did before. Exactly. So instead of going, it's doing exactly the same. Now, the left hand is not doing the same, obviously, but what it's doing is a bit like a mirror image of what it did before. So before it was playing those three notes. So it's not it started on the black key, not next to where the right thumb is, but the one beyond that. When you cross over, you're going to start on the black key the same distance above the right hand. So not next to your right fifth finger, but the one above that. This time you're not going to play it with your thumb because you're going in that direction. So probably the best fingers here are 3, 2, 1. So your thumb is going to play the highest note. So whereas in the first part it went, here it's going to go, and apart from that it's the same. Obviously you have to practice slowly at first, and you have to be ready to cross over and stay in time, because you haven't got very long to cross over. So you need to focus on what's going to be your starting note for the left hand in the new part, which is that, and know which finger's going there, which I suggest is going to be 3. So you're moving from that position, you're looking at that note and putting your third finger there, and then you're ready. So this new part, you can almost pretend that you're playing the first part, but obviously the left hand is playing different notes and using the fingers in a different order, so it's not quite the same. And once again, when the left hand hits the note that's furthest away, that's when the right hand moves to the white keys. Then it stays on the white keys until the left hand comes back to the note it started on, or started this part on, which was there. That's when the right hand goes back to the black keys, just like in the first part. Okay, so I'll play the whole thing from the beginning. And you can stop there, but I think it's nicer then to repeat the first part, which you've already learnt. So having crossed over, the left hand comes back to where it was, and you play the first part again. Now, one more thing, you can either just, well, okay, I'll play all that then. I'll do it a little faster now. Again, just to remind you about the moving the left hand, when you're moving up, you focus on that note and focus on bringing the third finger to it. And then when you have to move back, you're focusing on that note and on bringing the thumb to it. And then you'll end up in the right place. So that's it. I like to finish with a sort of little flourish at the end. So instead of just finishing, I like to do something like this. So I repeated the right hand notes and I played that note with my left. So it's the same as my starting note, but an octave lower. You could expand on that. You could play both the octaves. You could jump up and you can experiment a bit with that. I think it's the sort of tune where you can make up your own ending. But that's quite a nice way to finish. So finally, I will play the whole thing, including that ending that I've just shown you. And there you are. That's the end of this video.